Hi, everybody. Welcome to Two Bad Decisions with Lauren and Han. I'm Laur.
And I'm Han. So, um, we've been rehearsing this over and over, but Laura and we both go to college in New York, and we met because we lived in the same building, and through this angel of a human being named Mariel, who I guess wants to be referred to as Scarlet.
Or Natasha Romanoff, but she's abusing her privileges, so we're going to say Scarlet.
I'm also just gonna ignore that and call her Mariel. But yeah, to kick things off, we're gonna be talking about how we met and how we ended up in New York. So, starting with me, I grew up in the Bay Area in California, like San Francisco area, and I don't know, for some reason I always hated it and I always wanted to leave and go out of state for college. So, when application time came around, I didn't apply to any schools in California. I applied to half in New York and half in London, except my dream school. So my dream school was in London, and I got rejected, which I guess we both have that in common.
Yeah, we do.
Amazing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Except you turned it around for you though. I didn't.
Sorta.
Anyway.
Anyways,
but it's fine because New York was the right choice. I wouldn't want it any other way now. But basically, I ended up in a community college in New York, which I guess doesn't make any sense. But I enrolled there as a backup for my dream school, and all the other New York schools that I applied to and gotten into were for creative writing, and I wanted to switch to music very last minute. So I committed to New York late, and my school, was community college. So I ended up in this, our building that we live in. That's just like general college campus housing stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I moved from Ohio. I live in a very boring place, very small town, Perry, Ohio. And I told everyone that the only way I was going to New York is if I got into NYU. And I absolutely lied because I didn't get into NYU, but I hated Ohio. So I knew I needed to go to New York. So I went to this school that I don't know if I should name. I'm not going to name. And it's like
she might be listening, so
right, like I'm like, ooh, but I absolutely hated it. Like, I loved being in New York. I knew that was where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to travel and live in a bunch of different places my whole life. I don't think I'll live in New York for the rest of my life, but I knew I wanted to be there. Like something like, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to be there. So I went to this school. And I worked harder than I ever did in high school because I didn't work in high school.
And we have so much in common. We were both like failing high school and then ended up in New York because we hated our hometown.
Right. That's literally what we both did. And yeah, I transferring into NYU this fall. So that's kind of how I ended up in New York.
Yeah. And so the way that we met was, as we said previously, through Mariel. And I don't know. So part of me hates this story because it was like truly horrible. But basically, my parents came with me to help me move into my dorm. Really nice of them. And my dad was so upset about it because me like going to college, he was sad, right? And he he ended up telling his like entire emotional dilemma to Mariel's mom in the lobby of our building. Did not know her, and then out of pity, he told Mariel to befriend me. Because she like felt bad. And I had the most like disgusted, volatile reaction to this, and I wanted to hate Mariel. I didn't want to be her friend. I thought it would be some weird friendship where she pitied me. But yeah, So first time I met her, she and Hannah, they knocked on my door to introduce themselves and say hi. And I was so rude, dude. I wanted them to be gone. I wanted them to leave. And but in my defense, like all that I heard from my dad was like, he told some lady like he was sad about me being in college and now her kid was going to come be my friend and like sounded horrible. Yeah. But fast forward to today, we're fine. Mariel's like one of our best friends and favorite people ever. So I was wrong, but
I also love the relationship between like your dad and her mom because whose Facebook got hacked because one of them sent the clicked on a link and sent the other
and like wiped her Facebook, dude, like completely demolished it.
Someone's email got like messed up. I can't. Like, oh my god, I think about that all the time. The relationship between your dad and her mom is
I try
so
not to think about that. I don't like thinking. But yeah, that's why I kind of hate that story. But also, I love it. But yeah,
My
that's how
sto-
I met it. That's how I
yeah,
met
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
My story with Mariel's a little different. I knew no one in New York the first day I got there. Once my mom left, because my mom came and dropped me off and like helped me, put everything together. Both my roommates weren't there. One of them was, what was she doing? Oh yeah, her little brother was born. Like, so she had to go. She had to leave. Like, she had to get out of there.
Oh, I thought
And
you
I
meant
didn't
there.
see
I
her
was like,
in her
okay,
dorm.
I understand. Okay.
And then my roommate I don't know if I should use her name. I'll call her Kay because that's the first letter of her name.
Mhm.
My roommate that I ended up really liking, Kay, was with her boyfriend at the time. So I was alone in our triple with no one to talk to. I had no friends. I cried all day. I watched Dance Moms and I ate mac and cheese. And I'm like, wow, this mac and cheese really sucks. And this is how my life is going to be for the next 4 years. And life was awful. So I decided I needed to make some friends other than my roommate because she was really just friends with me out of pity at that point because I didn't know anyone. And I went on this this building trip to, is it Smarsburg? Is that how you say it?
I have no idea. I always avoid saying it because I don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to spell it either. So.
But it's like
I
the
wrote
food
it
festival.
4 different ways. Yeah, it was like a food festival. It only happens, I guess, every once in a while. And it has really cool food. It has I think I got fried chicken and a waffle cone, which I guess isn't that crazy, but they had spaghetti donuts and they had a lot of vegan food too. It was kind of cool. But I decided to go on this trip because I had no friends and I needed to make some friends if I wanted to stop crying in my room to Dance Moms. And I went on this trip and there was this girl, Mariel, who immediately befriended me. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but she, the second we were in a room together, she was like, "Oh my God, do you stan Timothy Chalamet? Do you stan Harry?"
Oh my God, I love her.
I was so apprehensive because I was like, "Okay, yes, but why are you asking?"
Why did we both hate her at first? Why?
She's the nicest person, and we both hated her. Well, not but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Me and Hannah are both really apprehensive to new people. Yeah. Even though I was trying to make friends, we were sitting there talking, and I didn't think we were gonna end up being friends. We went on the ferry together, we sat next to each other and everything. Aww. She made me record her eating something at one point, which I feel was a good introduction to our friendship.
I think so.
And yeah, the next day, before the next day, she told me she was going to study that night. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, no, do you want to study with me? I was like, oh, sure. So we went down and studied. And she was just the nicest person. She told me I looked pretty without makeup, and I almost cried.
God.
Almost cried. And then the next day, I think, she was like, do you want to come with me and my friends to the Met? No. That was 2 days after. Yeah, before that.
Let me take over from here. Let me take over. So I didn't know all this cute stuff, I didn't know about any of that. And we had plans to make cookies in the evening sometime, Mariel and Hannah. And last minute.
That was me swallowing water.
Last minute, Mariel was like, I met a friend. I want you guys to meet her. And my initial thought was I hate this bitch. It was nothing against Laur, but I was not ready for a new friend. I didn't want it. I was already drained from forming my other relationships with Mariel and Hannah. And I was just so not down to meet a new person and make cookies with her. However, she shows up. It was fine. Obviously, I was wrong with friends now, but
Wait, what was your first impression of me? I wonder this all the time.
You were laughing too much. I was like, damn, it's not that funny.
You overcompensated.
I think you were just nervous.
I don't remember my first impression of you. I just think I got the vibe that you didn't like me.
Oh my God. I think I sound so mean. I'm not mean.
No, we're just apprehensive to new people.
I mean, we're fine now, right? That's what matters.
Right?
Right? No, yeah. But yeah, that night was fun. We made cookies and then we went to the corner store and we got cards.
Yeah, that was sick. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was trying to trim.
We got cards.
I was trying to transition us to our next story, which
Yeah.
we refer to as the wallet story.
Yes, we do. Oh my God, can I tell this one? I
Yes.
think about this all the time. I harbor so much. I don't hold a lot of grudges. Well, that's kind of true. I don't hold like very intense grudges, let me say. But this one, we'll call her Daphne.
Yeah.
She. Oh. So we got like playing cards because we wanted to play some game that Mariel and Hannah were teaching us. I think. I can't remember the game. I can't remember
it was
who
something
taught
that
us.
Hannah wanted to teach us.
Yeah, I don't think we like played it right either. Like I think it was so slow because she knew how to play it and we were struggling.
Yeah, I think so.
But I was like, again, me and Hannah are both apprehensive to new people, and I had just met 2 new people in one day, and I like had my fill. And then Daphne comes in, and she is wasted, and she just comes into the room, and I forget who let her in, but like I really, really wish they hadn't.
No, dude, she like walked in with us because
she
we
did?
we were coming back from getting cards, I think, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And she comes in
smoking.
drunk out of her mind, smells like cigarette smoke.
I was
not
be in the
down.
elevator with her.
Yeah. Me trying to hold my breath.
But she was only in there for a second, right? We were just playing cards. Let me just say, there was no point where any of the 4 of us were out of each other's sight. Like Mariel, Hannah, Han, and me. None of us were out of each other's sight. We were never alone in that room because it would be weird for me to be, or you even, to be alone in someone's room that I met the day of, and that you met like 2 weeks before that. So at no point were we alone. Let me just preface with that. And then I think it was the next day or the day after, I can't remember exactly, we got a text from, I think Hannah texted us. And she was like super nice about it. She's like, hey,
oh my God, do we leave it? What if she finds it? It's okay, I'm not guilty. We just pretend that didn't happen and say Daphne. Just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. We'll bleep it.
We'll go back. We'll handle that in post.
Oh, I'm crying.
I'm sweating, dude.
Me too, my knee pits are so sore. Her name just brings fear in my heart. Oh. Anyway.
Why do we laugh the same way, dude?
Because it like hurts. But anyway, Daphne had asked Hannah or Mariel if they had accidentally like taken her wallet, and they of course said no. So they asked us because they went to the same school, and you know she didn't have her numbers because we literally just met her, or well, I had just met her. I don't know if you had.
I met her once, but it was a very short thing.
Yeah, and at first I thought she was kind of cool, like she had nice style, but then I found out I absolutely hated her. So I remember specifically like after, you know, we had just said like, no, we don't have her wallet, I hope she finds it, like da 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 da. Me, Mariel, and Hannah were at an EDM concert, and she was like texting Mariel in the middle of it, like, you know, I don't think it was like you guys, but Lauren and Hannah might have, or Han, because we have 2 Hannahs.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just felt really off about her after that point. And so for how many months, she just kind of, oh my God, she lost, no cash was in it. I think her ID wasn't even in it, but I think her card was. And I remember we were downstairs playing, Mario Kart? Yeah. We were playing that on like the big TV in the like common area.
Yeah.
And she made the most passive aggressive comment because there was a bunch of people from Hannah and Mariel's school.
Yeah.
And she made the most, oh my God, she goes, they were talking about getting drinks because they are over the age of 21.
It's true.
And she was like, well, I don't have enough cash and I can't get it because I don't have my card. And I was like, holy shit. I am dealing with the like worst person I have ever met, and I can't even prove that I didn't steal her wallet.
Dude, she was so quick to point fingers, and
So
she's the one who
quick.
was wasted.
Oh my God, I just can't. If you're like, I'm sorry, if you're wasted and you lose something, it might be on you. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, if I'm drunk out of my mind and lost a bag, it's on me because
Yeah.
I probably didn't have it with me the entire time.
Exactly. And then,
I just,
dude, she
you
like,
tell the security.
dude, she goes to the poor security people who have much
Oh,
better things to be doing. She makes them go back on the cameras and like locate the exact footage of us walking in the hallway with her. And she's like, "See, I was holding it in this
oh
shot
my
here."
God.
Also, you swallowing was.
Sorry, I was really thirsty. That's why I kept going. I took a drink.
But yeah, she like makes these poor people like locate the footage, and she's trying to make a point that she had it when before she went into our room, and then she didn't have it when she left. But
Which we don't even know if that's factual because she wasn't allowed to look at the tapes because it violated like our privacy or something. She
yeah,
just like that's what they told her, but they very well could have just like not seen it. So I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
I was just like, you're gonna accuse me based off of your grainy footage from the security cameras. Like, sorry, but no.
She could have had it in her bag, like her bra. I think she said she didn't have pockets. I'm not sure. She said
Yeah.
something because we asked, like, did you put it in your pocket? Maybe. I can't remember if she said that or if I fabricated it, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm more salty that she held some imaginary grudge against us for months based off of almost nothing, does not even know us, still doesn't know us.
Right.
And
Would
like
not say hi to us if she saw, wouldn't even smile at me when I like smiled at her.
dude, I wish
Awful.
we stole her wallet. Like I wish we
Right.
took it. I wish we
Ugly
took her credit
wallet
cards.
too. So ugly. So ugly. I'm not even like it was one of the like so say we went to Woodstock. It's like this little like hippie town in New York that I've heard a lot
Mhm.
about, and my dentist told me I would like it because I'm a liberal. I don't know why my dentist told me that.
Go off.
She did. Like I imagine it's what they would have, like those women who wear like those big, like particularly white women who wear those giant rings and long skirts and
Oh yeah.
like Birkenstocks, and I
For sure.
imagine that's what her wallet looked like. So I don't know why you would want that back, but if we had stolen it, we did you a favor. Like,
dude, she was. Oh God, I look. No hate for her, but like,
no, a lot
well,
of hate.
well, like, sure, if she wants to think we took her wallet, but like, I just no. Actually, no, I take it back.
Lots of hate.
I didn't take her wallet. Okay, to be honest, like, we're all pretty financially stable. It's like,
Right.
why am I stealing a wallet?
Exactly. It's not like we needed like money for food or I don't know. And it wasn't a cute wallet, so it's not like we stole it because it was the you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, so you had no cash in it. Your ID wasn't in it, so I can't even like use what would I use your ID for? But like, it's not like I looked like her.
Yeah,
It had your card, and if someone spent money on your card, you would see it on like your bank account app.
Mhm.
So, but I was like, who in their right mind's taking your wallet at that point? I
Yeah.
remember I had this tiny little bag, and she goes, well, maybe it fell in there. I'm like, well, it wasn't open. And
No.
also, like, how it's the smallest little bag ever to fall in there. Oh my God.
And then have you not noticed in your
Right.
tiny bag? Like,
Like, it's not like it was this huge backpack. It was this tiny bag that I would shove everything into.
look, I feel like we sound really mean, but I promise you we're not, okay? Like, it was just like the fact that she thought that one of us had stolen it, and then we were too embarrassed to return it to her. I was like,
Right.
what? Like, no, we would not do. Okay, in the world where I did steal her wallet, I would have embarrassed, like, I would have just slid it under her door,
Right.
like I would not have kept it.
Honestly. And the worst part is, I feel so bad for Hannah and Mariel because she went through their room. They were the kindest people in the whole world. I think Mariel gave her ID, like to the room key to like get in her room. And Daphne went through and like tore their room apart trying to find that wallet. So they were nice enough to let her in their room while they weren't even there.
Yeah, that
And
was
she
crazy.
went through it like how many times?
I don't know, a bunch. And like, it's a small room. If it wasn't there the first time, it's not going to be there again.
Right. She like looked in the trash. I remember at one point she accused Hannah of just throwing it away.
Oh my God.
Like, we had made cookies that night. She's like, are you sure it didn't like fall in there and then you threw it away? And we're like, well, the trash is under her desk. So no, like we're not, disobeying the laws of physics. It didn't fall in my tiny backpack. It didn't fall in the trash that's under the desk. You just lost it. The worst.
That's that. That was the first night that we met. Crazy.
Oh my God, it was. That was awful.
But yeah,
I forgot that happened before we went to the Met. Like all that happened before we went to the Met.
I think it was the night before.
Yeah, that's right. Because I thought that Mariel did ask me, but it was like 2 days after.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so moving on, we went to the Met the next day, which was really fun. Daphne was not present. We had a great time. So.
Right. God, Daphne.
Okay, so we're leaving the building. I was still not used to Laura, of course. I just met her, and we're walking out. We're in the lobby, and I told her that she looked like Hot Velma that day, okay? Her outfit, she looked like Hot Velma. So if you don't know what we're talking, it's the scene in the Scooby-Doo movie where Linda Cardellini, she gets a
makeover.
Yeah, and she looks hot, so she's Hot Velma. So I told Laura that she looked like Hot Velma, but like in my brain, it took me so long to say it. I was just like, hey, you look, you kind of look like, you look hot, like you look like Hot Velma. And it took me like the longest time to just say that. And like, if I had just committed, maybe it would have been a cool compliment. But
I captioned my Instagram post that. Like,
why did I stutter? Like, why?
I don't remember it like that, but I think it's so funny. I just remember you saying it, but maybe I was so like overcome by the compliment. My brain short-circuited.
But yeah, that's still in my brain to this day, and it kind of haunts me a little bit. But
yeah, speaking of things that are still in our brain, the first time me and Han ever hung out alone was at Barnes and Noble, and we both really liked plants. And I brought one of my plants that I'd had from home, and I was like decorating my windowsill with them. I had an insane amount of houseplants, and so did Han.
Yeah, we went through a phase, dude.
Together we had, I had about 9 at one point, and it's like a tiny ledge. And you had at least 6, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a total of like 15 plants. And also Hannah ended up giving me one. Like, she gave me Mr. Professor Suck, which I'm looking at right now. It's on my desk. But
that was sweet of her.
Yeah, that was. I love having that because, like, none of you could bring it home because you were all flying and I was taking the Greyhound. And, yeah, it's just nice to have. Like, it's like a piece of New York and, like, a piece of Hannah. And, yeah, cute, whatever.
So, yeah, it was a cute first hanging out together kind of thing by ourselves. And, we got plants at Whole Foods and the Barnes & Noble was nearby. So, we were going to go get coffee at the Starbucks or the cafe. And, dude, we were at this weird point. Well, I mean, we still are kind of like that now, but it's a little less. But it was just like neither of us wanted to make the decision ever. Like neither of us would be like, where do you want to eat? And we would just stand there for like 20 minutes.
Long.
Same energy here where it was, but it wasn't even like, where do you want to eat? It was, do you want to sit down in the cafe?
Which is a normal thing to do. Like, standing in the middle of a cafe is weird. Why can't we just sit down?
And we're just standing in the aisles for like 15 minutes, not doing anything. But it wasn't even just like we didn't just say, oh, do you want to sit down? And that was it. It was like we were repeatedly asking each other. And every time we'd be like, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, like, how are you feeling? I'm bad at decisions.
Oh my God.
I feel like second semester we worked on that a little. But we were still a little rough. Neither of us
it's not a personality choice. It's not a personality trait. It's truly not. It's weird. Right.
Yeah. It's because I'm a Libra, I'm telling you.
I'm a
Aren't Libras bad at decisions?
I don't know.
I feel like they are. See, I can't even be like definitive on that because I'm pretty sure that's like a trope. But
yeah. But I remember we eventually did sit down. Thank God. Like, what? I don't know what we had
so
to gain from that,
awful,
but
so awful.
yeah, we
But that
sat
was when
down.
I knew I liked you too.
Oh
Was like
yeah,
after that because we talked about musicals for quite a
yeah.
while, and you just let
You.
me like talk about I love falsettos. It's my favorite musical of all time.
Yeah, you talked about it for like an hour.
And you just sat there and like let me talk about how good it was. And you're like, you're the music major, you know more than me, but I was so obsessed with it that
Oh my God,
I
that
was
was
like,
fun.
finally someone to tell. And then you told me about like songs in your songbook, and that's when I knew I liked you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I liked you after that, even though
Yeah,
rough
it was
start, but
awkward.
yeah, ended well. Oh, but yeah, that's
I'm gonna swallow again. Sorry.
okay. It's okay.
And then like exasperation in your voice. You're like, I guess if you're thirsty.
Oh my God, wait, we have to go back to the Met because we didn't explain how we
Oh, this is so chaotic.
we didn't take pictures together.
I took pictures with everyone else except you.
Yeah, it was, everyone takes those pictures on the Met steps.
It's like a Gossip Girl thing.
Yeah.
I think
I think
that's
so.
what I knew it from.
I never watched it. But yeah, I think that is what it's known for. But everyone else we were taking cute pictures and everyone else was pairing off. Like Mariel and Hannah took a picture. Mariel and Laura took a picture. I think you even took one with Hannah.
Yeah,
right?
I did take one with Hannah.
And we just didn't take pictures together. And I was like, do we hate each other? I was like,
is this a feud? Like,
I know. I was like, I don't know if this means something.
I think if we didn't have Daphne to like focus our hate on, it may have become like because we had to like band together to
for sure
fight against evil.
Yeah, I think there is the universe where
we didn't like each other.
Yeah, we just hated each other, but we were in the same friend group.
That's entirely possible too. Like I feel like honestly, Daphne was like relief for us because we could like clearly identify the person we didn't like. There was also someone I'm going to call Lydia. Oh wait, that sounds like I'm talking about your roommate. But
oh yeah,
because we like called her that sometimes.
Can I say that? Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
So we saw Beetlejuice on Broadway, which was pretty good, really fun. And what's her name? Who's the actress that I can't remember?
Oh, the one that's playing now isn't her name like Presley or something? Yeah, Sophia.
Sophia Ann Caruso. She was playing Lydia. I think she was the original Lydia. And so my roommate looks just like her. And we had this whole like joke going that so my roommate was never really home that much. And I feel like it was because she was busy doing Beetlejuice on Broadway. So she was never there because she was, she had 8 shows a week. Like,
she was busy, man.
Yeah, like, so of course I never saw her.
Now we have to come up with a different name for the other one that we focus.
I don't know.
What do we call her? Let's have it start with an M.
Okay.
Melanie.
Melanie? Okay, go for it, Melanie.
So if we also didn't have Melanie to focus, like at first it wasn't hate, it was just dislike.
It was also just like confusion at her.
Right. And I remember one of the first things like she told me was like we got in like a weird situation where we were helping like this lady on the subway, and we'll explain it in a different podcast because that's like a really long story. But I remember one of the first things she told me afterwards. You weren't there, but one of the first things she did, we were out with a group of people from Hannah and Mariel's college, and we helped this lady, and she was like, if you guys weren't there, I wouldn't have done anything. And I was like, okay, that's fair. Like, if I thought she meant it in a sense like she was scared, but I was sobbing.
Yeah, it came from a place of like, I don't care.
Right. It was very much like I was crying as she's telling me this, and I'm like, that did not. So we had like 2 very like solid fixtures of people we didn't like, and one of them was always with us for some reason. Yeah. Or like with us like half the time.
Yeah.
It was so I feel like the max amount of people I can handle that I'll still like everyone in the group is like 3.
Me too.
You
I've
know,
always felt like that.
not including myself, but
Yeah, I feel like that too. Like a total of 3 or 4 people is, I think, prime friend
right.
group. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it sounds like we're talking shit. We're not. Okay, we're not mean. We're not outwardly mean. The thing is we're very passive in person. Like for the most part, we're not out here like bullying
Mhm.
these girls, but
Right.
but
I
yeah.
feel like if someone accuses you of stealing your wallet or their wallet, it's kind of like, where do we go from here? Like,
Yeah, only
I can't
down. I
imagine
mean,
it gets better. And then there are more stories about Melanie, but
yeah.
I don't want to share them right now. I want to like,
No, yeah.
we
That's
have so much more to talk about. We have so many very intense stories with, or at least they felt very intense at the time, and now they're just kind of funny.
I don't know. My big thing in life is I don't hang out with or I'm not friends with people that I don't love or like really want to
Oh,
be around, you know? I don't
yeah.
understand how people have so many, well, I guess that's you. Like having so many toxic friends. Like that was you coming into New York.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like, New York purged that for me. I had friends that lied about being pregnant. I had friends that lied about driving drunk. I had friends that just were awful, awful people.
Yeah.
And
And
like, well, maybe not like that sounds mean, but like,
they weren't good friends.
they weren't good friends, if that makes sense. Like, they could be good people. I don't know. I haven't talked to them in a while.
Hmm.
One of them hit me up, but I just pretended that we were gonna hang out and then never said anything because I didn't want to be. She was like, "I miss you," and I was like, "Aw."
Oh my God. No, I'm a firm believer in dropping friends.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit more like that once I got to New York with you guys and like realized I had some pretty awful friends.
Hmm.
But I think when you're centered like in a small town where your options are very like few, you kind
Hmm.
of just pick the best of what you have. And
No, yeah, for sure.
I don't know, people at Perry were like that. Like they just didn't like their friends. I feel like that's maybe a thing that's like a lot of places, but
Yeah,
there
that
was
is a
not
lot
a
of
single
places.
friend group I knew in Perry that didn't at least hate one of their friends in their group, which I
That's
find so
crazy.
strange.
No, yeah. I've never understood that. I was always the type of person that was like friends with only the people from a group that I liked. So then
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be included in their whole group because,
Gotcha.
because like I was like, oh, I just don't like certain people
Right,
from
right.
that group, so I'm gonna separate off.
I wish I could do that. I was still fairly nice to Melanie after
Hmm.
after like she just really got on my nerves, but you just didn't talk to her. Like
No,
you like
yeah, I just like didn't even engage. Like, but also she didn't want to engage with me, so that's fine.
I don't know what I did to make her like me, but I would take it back in a heartbeat. Whatever I did that made her like me. And I don't want to like get into, all our stories for future podcasts now because I feel like we have so many that are like
Yeah,
really
there's a lot.
interesting.
There's a lot more about why Melanie is a problematic person,
Right.
or
There are
at least a bad friend.
so many. There are so many things where I was like, man, I really didn't like you before, but now I really don't like you
This
even
really
more.
takes the cake. Yeah.
Right. It's like sometimes, I don't know, you meet someone and you don't like them, and then you realize they're actually like, a good person later
That's me
on.
with everybody, but
But that was the opposite with her. Like, I met her and I was like, okay, I mean, it wouldn't be someone I'd normally hang out with.
Mhm.
Um, and then I just started disliking her more and more as time went on. Like,
No,
things just
yeah.
kept coming up
I mean,
where,
there were a lot of reasons too.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we forgot to mention that the title of this is how we met, the golden semester. The reason why it
Oh,
was
yeah.
golden is because Mariel and Hannah left New York. They were only there on a semester program.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like our long distance friends, pretty much. And
Right.
we're still friends to this day, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Right now, we're all long distance. I'm from Ohio,
Hmm.
Han's from California. And then, well, Mariel and Hannah are both in Texas, but Hannah just graduated. So, like, she's moving.
Yeah, we're
And
different
it's
parts of
also
our lives.
quarantine. They don't see each other. There's no college right now.
Yeah, so that means, they took Melanie with her and went back to Texas.
Yeah, thank God they took Melanie, they took Daphne, and we called it a day.
Yeah,
Because,
so they're not in our lives anymore.
oh, what a like interesting group of people we met that semester. But
Yeah.
Mariel and Hannah really, I don't know, they made things. Me and Han were. I wasn't even 18 yet when I moved to New York. I was turning 18. Like I was very close to 18. It was only about a month,
Mm-hmm.
but I was still like, a minor and like needed like guidance, and I still do. I feel like. And Han was, she was 18, but she didn't turn 19 for a while.
Yeah.
And it's like we needed someone like Mariel and Hannah to guide
For
us
sure.
because we were just so like Mariel always had directions, you know what I mean? She always knew
Yeah.
where we were going.
Yeah, they took care of us. We needed
Right.
it.
They always like they had like fun events for us to go to. They were our parents. Like they made sure we
Yeah.
like ate. They're like, you want to go like eat? We
No, but yeah,
needed someone like them.
what I loved about them was that I never felt like they thought I was a little kid. You
Right.
know, I
I
appreciate
felt
that.
so cool. It's like when you're a freshman and you're friends with
I
upperclassmen.
know, it's exactly that.
And
That's
like I don't know why
crazy.
they put up with us, honestly, because if I
Yeah.
were like Hannah was 21 when we met her. She turned
I
22.
know, that was crazy.
And what's weird to me is I don't feel like I have a 4-year age gap with her.
No, yeah. I
It doesn't feel like that.
She feels like a separate entity on her own in her own like
Hmm.
part of life, but she
She
doesn't
doesn't
feel
age.
like yeah, she doesn't feel like decades older than me or anything.
Right. Like I know she's like, doing her thing. Like she graduated, she got a job, congratulations. But
I know, I'm so happy for her.
it's like, I never felt like I was like babied. But I think there have been times where we like really realize or really felt, I guess, our age difference. And one of those I think about all the time because we were in Philadelphia and we were in an Uber. And like, again, we'll save the story for another time, but it's really funny to us.
I don't think it's funny to anybody else, but I think we're still gonna tell it. I don't think that's gonna
Right,
stop
we're
us.
still gonna. I don't know. There's so many stories like I don't want to tell right now just because of the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
But we were in an Uber. No, we were in a Lyft.
We were in a lift,
Whatever,
yeah.
same thing. We were in a Lyft, and our driver was like really funny. Mariel found him on LinkedIn within like 10 minutes after we got out of his car.
That like
But
sums her up, dude. Like
I remember we were like, well, how old is he? And like or maybe we asked him how old he was. I can't remember how we found out. It was either from his LinkedIn or we asked. But when we got out, Hannah was like, yo, he's not even that much older than us. Like he's like 4 years older than us because I think he was 26 and Hannah had just turned 22. And me, like, me and Han were like, that's almost a decade.
I was like, he's a little old. Like, but for Hannah, that could be her friend. That could be her older friend.
Right. And like in my head, I didn't feel our age difference until like that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I had before because like, she was 21, like she could do things we can't do. But
yeah, but that stuck out. That was weird.
right, that was like a really like pivotal moment where I'm like, yeah, she's graduating, like she's gonna have a whole life, and it's
Yeah,
not
it's
just
crazy.
us like these little like 18-year-olds like trotting along behind
She's
her.
on the other side of academia, bro. She's out of it. She's not gonna go
We're
back to
not
school.
even into our sophomore year.
But yeah, I'm really grateful that we met them because I'm also grateful for like the circumstances that we met them under. Just because if we had lived on campus, if we had those kinds of schools, we would have been living with a bunch of other freshmen,
right,
in dorms. And I lived on their floor because obviously I'm the only person that goes to a community college and is out of state. So, and I live in a
CUNY
dorm.
school and goes out and is out of state.
Yeah,
And dorms.
But yeah, so I lived on Mariel and Hannah's floor, which was like designated for their semester program, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And that was the reason why, we met a lot of those people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we wouldn't have been able to meet people older than us in that same kind of way if not for our dorms.
Yeah, I went to a largely commuter school, and everyone else was on full scholarship essentially, and it was a pretty cheap school. Like if I were, if I liked it, I would have stayed there. But oh my god, we all lived in like this. How do you explain EHS? Like it has a bunch of different schools in it. It has a bunch of different programs that live there. And like some NYU kids live there because, there's NYU has like 20 dorm sites. It's a huge school.
Yeah. And it's close enough to NYU that you could live there. It's like like communal, college housing.
Right. It's not like we lived with like everyone went to our school. It
Mm-hmm.
was like one the school I went to had 2 floors, the 5th and the 6th. And even then, like some people on there didn't necessarily go to my school. The 4th floor was mostly like programs like Hannah and Mariel's,
Mm-hmm.
Han
And
who
then
goes to
me.
community. And then like right, because like, I don't think there was anyone else from your school.
No, yeah, for
there.
sure. There was probably 0 people. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how we met, dude. And we
Insane.
made a podcast to, I don't know, fill the void. Like, we wanted to be able to reflect and talk to each other. It's really fun to analyze your life.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel like it's a good way to reflect,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And
I don't know.
we're gonna enjoy this when we're older. Like we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
It's something to look back on. Like even if only Mariel listens to this, which might be a possibility.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine, when you like read your old journals from when you were like 14, and first of all, you're like, I can't believe like I wrote like this. Like this is so awful. And also, I can't believe I felt like this. And it's so like, it brings you back to exactly how you felt. Mm-hmm. I imagine us like in our 30s, like looking back on this and being like, that's when I was 18, 19 years old. Like I'm almost 19. I'm 19 in 3 months to this day.
I'm not almost. I'm 20 in like January.
Yeah, you're not almost yet. You still like
me
6
pretending.
months.
Yeah, okay.
You're like pretty close though. You're about 6 months. That's not crazy close, but
we almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost 19, which freaks me out because I have wasted my youth. But
no, you haven't.
I
don't know. I think having a podcast is great. I don't know. It brings a certain amount of, I don't know, romanticization. Romanticization, is that a word? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I make up words a lot. I romanticize my life just the perfect amount to see that there are interesting stories within it and stuff that you could tell other people, which is cool. I feel like I always think I'm boring, so.
Yeah, same here. I'm like, God, I'm the most, because especially in quarantine, like, I mean, we're not technically in quarantine anymore in Ohio. Like, it's not, we barely have regulations. It's awful. But
yeah,
I still like to follow like the basic CDC guidelines because I would like to be safe and not die or infect anyone else. But I follow like the social distancing, the masks, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm so bored of my life right now, and like everyone else is going out and doing their own thing, and I just really want to be as safe as possible. So I feel like I need this to reflect and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be talking about what we've learned, what we experienced, and I don't know, all the things that we want to do in New York.
I think that's so cute. This is like part 1 of our journey, in New York.
I'm really excited to do this.
Right. We're reflecting on like what we've done, and then we get to tell everyone about what we want to do. And maybe like 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, we did it,
Woo!
Or maybe we didn't. But
I don't know. And that'll be okay.
Life is wild.
We've done something else. Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know. Should we like plug our Instagram?
Oh, for sure.
Feel like we should. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. We've spent hours making these stupid like collages so that we can have a theme on our Instagram. It's like embarrassing.
It's so beautiful, but it's so embarrassing that we spent this much time on it.
Yeah. So it's at 2 Bad Decisions Pod. If you want to check it out.
And then we're gonna plug our friends who are super awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'll do Hannah. Okay. You can do Tucker. But Hannah made this really cool graphic you'll see when you like click on our podcast. She is super talented. I know she wants to I don't actually know if it's called a graphic, but I know she wants to start, selling stuff like that. So if you want to help a girl out, what's her Insta Hannah? Or Insta
Isn't it Elkin, not Elkin, not
Yeah, it's
Eklund?
I want to make sure I like
we'll put it in our like description.
Yeah, we'll link it.
And then
but she's super cool. She wants to, make a little cash off of it. She's super cool. She did this for free. So talented.
I know.
The best person. Like,
I love her.
So go check out her like Instagram. She's super cool, and she'll make you a cool graphic if you need one.
Yeah. And Tucker, he made our intro and outro songs, the one that you heard earlier. It's dope. It hits. I love it. I was blasting it in the car yesterday, and I was like, Whoa. But I'll link his Instagram and he has a SoundCloud, so we'll put it down in our description. I feel like a YouTuber.
Yeah, me too. Is this what fame feels like? It's already getting in my head.
Anyways, thanks for listening to our first episode of Two Bad Decisions.
Woo!
Woo!
All right.
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.